think she was overwhelmed.
Yeah,
But she still doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
That's a very good point. But the only thing was, I was kind of like, I wasn't too sure on that look she gave. You know, when the camera panned in and zoomed in on her face, I wasn't quite sure what to make of that look. You know, I wasn't sure what her emotions was. Was she confused? Was she sad? Was she, you know, I wasn't sure. I don't know if it was a good job of her, if it wasn't a good job of her acting, or if it just was that's what face she was told to make. I'm not sure, but that doesn't really make any point or not. So let's move on to fast forward to the next scene. What does that bring us to? The Battle of Castle Rock, I guess, man. Not too much of a battle, but I guess a little
short
scrimmage.
Yeah, a little short scrimmage.
Couple exhibitions. So it pretty much shows, you know, the Unsullied coming into Blackwater Bay and attempting to siege Castle Rock, and at the same time, Grey Worm and a little set of Unsullied kind of go through an underground passage, trying to infiltrate Castle Rock and kind of ambush the rest of the Lannister armies within the castle. And
it worked.
It worked. It definitely worked. They definitely lost a lot of men during the siege, but they were able to get hold of the castle. But it wasn't because they overpowered the Lannisters. It was because they purposely left. Lannisters left it up for them. What do you feel about that whole scene? The whole scene with I guess them just taking another fucking L, man.
Yeah, it was just crazy when they looked out and saw all the ships approaching.
What do you feel about Tyrion's strategy at this point? Do you feel that he's just probably not a good strategist, or that somebody's giving the other team the heads up?
There's it's definitely a leak. It's definitely. And my suspicion is it's Varys. But sometimes with these types of shows, it's never the obvious.
Yeah, it's never usually the obvious. It could be somebody totally left field.
Like it could be her assistant. You know what I mean?
Oh shit, Miss Sandy.
You know?
Oh shit! I wouldn't even think to thought of that, but that makes perfect sense.
You would never think it was her.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense though. Now I wouldn't be surprised if she is the mole. All right, the rest of the scene kind of shows Euron coming in and wiping out the rest of the ships of the Unsullied at the bay. So that leaves kind of all their ships are gone now at this point. I don't think anybody's surviving or trying to escape from this fucking ambush. All the allies are gone now, man. How do you feel about that?
Now it puts them in a situation where they definitely need Jon.
They
definitely need Jon Snow now.
Exactly. They definitely need Jon. They probably gonna need his men. But what I'm concerned about is that why haven't they released the dragons yet? Why haven't they sent at least a dragon out on one fucking battle, or at least something where, like, you know, something to let Cersei know, like, yo, listen, we ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? We're willing to fucking take out your whole shit. And considering that they was out at sea, you know, sending fire to a couple sails will then render the ship useless. You know what I'm saying? Once a fucking ship doesn't have a sail, how the fuck is he gonna move? Are they gonna row that big ass ship?
Right.
So I'm just kind of mystified to why they haven't used the dragons yet. Is it because, you know, is there a military strategy for it, or is it because they just don't have control of the motherfuckers enough to be able to tell them?
That's what I'm wondering.
Go here, you know.
I think the dragons will always be around, and if they see that Dany's in danger or something, they'll protect her. But I'm not sure she can literally just be like, all right, fire at that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that easy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I think that probably explains why they haven't been able to really send the dragons out on any sort of mission. Because every time we see them, the dragons are always fucking in their own world. They're always just like playing and flying around. So it's like we don't ever necessarily ever see them in a situation where they're being domesticated, or they're kind of being, you know, just being trained in any sort of way. We really don't see that at all. Game of Thrones hasn't really showed us that. Fast forwarding to the next scene. So while they're getting ambushed by Euron and his fleet, the remaining Lannister soldiers that were supposed to be stationed at Castle Rock during that siege were actually on their way to Sunspear, and they were going to the Tyrells, and they're going to kill the head of the Tyrells.
That was the craziest plan ever.
Yeah, that was actually, for once, the Lannisters actually had a good plan. And the funny thing is, they actually copied this plan from Rob, because he also said it in that little talk with the old lady Tyrell there. He said
he learned from his mistakes.
Exactly, and that Rob did the same thing to him at one of the previous battles that they had. So, damn, man, how do you feel about this scene, man? All their allies are completely wiped out now. The Sand Snakes are gone, so all the Dornish army soldiers that they had are gone. Now all the Tyrells and their armies are gone. Who's left?
It's a crazy situation at this point. Dany definitely needs Jon Snow, but also something. When you think about what Euron is doing, he's doing a lot of combat deployment missions right now. So he has to be losing men at the same time. So at some point when the war really kicks off, like, you might see that they're at a crazy disposition because they lost a few men already.
Well, they lost a few men, but as opposed to, who are you talking about losing a few men? Euron's men, but he's lost a few men.
Because this is his second outing.
Compared to how much Daenerys' army's lost, it ain't shit.
Yeah, but if she gets Jon Snow, she'll be back in the game.
Yeah, but they don't even got that much men. To think about it, in the north.
Oh yeah, that's facts. They got kids fighting.
Yeah, they got kids. They got to have men, women, and children fighting at this point.
Damn,
but
she's fucked.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the best move for them is eventually probably to move north, go up north first, and try to handle whatever they got over there, and then come back down south. But who knows?
Yeah, fuck it, fight the White Walkers.
So finishing the end of that scene, the old lady Tyrell. I don't know her name, and I don't give a fuck to know it at this point because she's off the show now. But old lady Tyrell just sits there with Jaime. She definitely goes out like a G. She asks Jaime how is she going out. Jaime kind of goes over all the ways that Cersei wanted her to die, including a whipping through the streets of King's Landing.
They couldn't film that shit.
As well as being beheaded. And, and Jaime apparently said, like, nah, we're going to do the poison thing. So he put some poison in some wine for her and had her drink. So she drank the wine, and then after she takes her sip of the wine, that's when she decides to disclose all the information in regards to old boy Joffrey and how she poisoned him and how it was how great it was for her to kill him. And just the look on Jaime's face, he obviously couldn't take it because that was his kid, and he just walks out the room. And
no bullshit, it was the ultimate way of getting the last word because she already drunk all the poison.
Yep.
So that was your card. You don't have any more aces.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then she hits you with that. So it's like, what, you going to double kill her?
Exactly.
So that was crazy.
I think that was a fitting death considering, the whole House Tyrell is completely eradicated from Westeros. I think that was a fitting end for her. Because, she was going to die. We knew she was going to die at some point, whether it was from old age or Cersei eventually getting her. But, I'm glad she went out like that as opposed to getting raped by the mountain or some shit.
Well, do you think that Jaime's considering what she was talking about when she calls Cersei a disease?
No. Jaime, I would consider Jaime a heroin addict right now. He knows the heroin is bad for him. He knows the heroin is killing him. But I think he needs the heroin to survive because he has nothing else. So, Jaime has no kids.
So he's just sick.
Yeah, he's only been a fucking hand and a soldier his whole life. He really has nothing to live for. Cersei is kind of like his only like compassion, I guess. His only source of compassion. And it's the only thing he loves, I guess. Only thing left to love. He has no kids. He has no real wife.
He has one hand.
He has one hand. Like, what else does he have to live for? So I think he knows that, and I just think he's like a heroin addict at this point. He's just doing the heroin and just going with it until it fucking kills him. And then that pretty much puts us at the end of the episode. I know we skipped over a couple scenes. I know we skipped over the homeboy Jorah finally getting cured at grayscale. Looks like your boy Sam is actually putting in the work as a maester, man. Really just fucking the rules over and just like, yo, I'm gonna go and treat this motherfucker. I really want him to be free of grayscale, and he was actually able to successfully do it. So more power to him. And then the other scene with the Lady of Light, kind of ducking Jon, watching him from a couple miles away and not going in to speak to him because she know that he banished her from Westeros earlier. So those two scenes were the only things we kind of skipped over. Is there anything else that we missed? Anything that you want to say? Anything you want to talk about in regard to this episode? Anything else you want to get off your chest?
Just the most important thing I thought was Bran in this episode. It just really showed you his development. Like, he's fully the Three-Eyed Raven. That's the only thing I can really sticks out to me.
I'm still waiting to see some more power, though. I want to see him. Like, I honestly want to see, like, what role does the Three-Eyed Raven what role does the Three-Eyed Raven have to play in all this? I'm really concerned about that. I mean, I'm curious to see where that's gonna go and what exactly is he gonna do and how's he gonna help Westeros defeat the army of the dead. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, like, subscribe, comment, replay it, share it with your friends, send it to your mama, send it to your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Put it in your car. Do whatever you want, man, but just make sure you give us a listen, man. We definitely going to try to entertain you guys going forward. Again, we're not only doing Game of Thrones reviews, we're going to be moving on into other topics and start to do other shows, but this is just kind of, opening the door for us, all right? Anything else you got left to say to the audience, Sean?
Not much. I'm out of here.
All right, Doc. Y'all have a great and a safe evening.